I reckon my position is you should be banned for these things. Get out. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. Shall we just do this? Shall we just get into talking about, while we're on the subject of chi, I suppose, shall we just get into talking about Angel Sanchez? This is going to be a difficult conversation, and one that I am going to try and approach as sensitively and sensibly and maturely as I can. Okay, so Angel Sanchez, my understanding, is an adult male like me. A grown man who has been messaging essentially a minor, a young girl who he met at a cube competition. She has very bravely, I think, spoken up about it and released some screenshots of messages. And from my recollection yesterday, from looking into it, Angel also said, yeah, he said, yeah, those are my messages. So he was messaging a minor in a way that was inappropriate for an adult to do, right? And we've seen the messages. It's on Cubix's friends. It's not explicit, but it is inappropriate. Okay? So that's what happened there. People on Cubix friends were saying, this is not okay that this is happening. The WCA, it seems, are powerless to do anything about it as a result of their own guidelines, is my understanding. We might have a look at that in a minute. But what I wanted to do is just talk about my experience, I suppose, as someone who's worked with young people and someone who is an adult. So in New Zealand, in youth work, we have a thing called the Youth Work Code of Ethics, right? Let me see if I can look that up. Youth Work Code of Ethics, and it's something that Arataihohi, there we go, the Arataihohi Youth Work Code of Ethics, okay? And we have a very, very stringent set of rules around how one conducts oneself with young people, right? Because it's really, really important as adults in a space where there are lots and lots of young people. It's our responsibility as adults to safeguard those young people. Obviously, there's parents involved and everything like that as well, but it is our responsibility to look after the young people that are in our surrounds. Okay, so some of the Youth Work Code of Ethics stuff goes over real simple stuff. Don't hit the young people. Duh. Don't do drugs with young people. Don't drink alcohol with young people. Don't do things that are really obvious. You know? Don't abuse your power as an adult around young people. Like, it sounds so simple. It sounds so silly, but it does need to be explicit, because people can go, well, this person didn't do a crime. And it's like, well, yeah, no, you're correct. Technically, you are correct. But they absolutely did something that is not okay and is inappropriate. And it is not the first time it's happened in cubing, which is the real unfortunate thing about this. People on Cubix friends were bringing up the valid point. The WCA seems powerless to do anything about it. They seem to be taking the stance of, well, it didn't happen at a competition, which I think is absolutely ridiculous and heinous, because they were exposed to each other at a competition, right? You cannot just ignore that and be like, what? Not me. Not me. Okay, so youth work ethics is a thing that exists certainly in New Zealand. It must exist in other countries. The WCA needs to have some kind of version of this, because the cubing community is so young generally, you know? It's there are so many young people, very, very young people. So, just some advice from me. If you're an adult and you are somehow messaging a young person, if at any point you are thinking this might not be a good idea, spoiler alert, it's not a good idea, okay? You've got to be so careful, like, because you're dealing with children. This girl was 13 at the time. That's I don't want to be rude to 13-year-olds in the chat who feel very mature and feel like they're, you know, they're not little kids anymore, but 13 is very, very young, no matter what country you're in. That's a young kid. And an adult interacting with a young kid needs to be just smart, okay? Not even that smart, just like not completely dumb. I don't know. I'm wandering around here. It baffles me when that happens, and it gets my hackles up as a parent of young children as well, right? So that's the youth work code of ethics is the thing that works here in New Zealand. Some advice for adults, I guess I've given. Just don't be an idiot. What are you doing? What are you doing? Is my question. And then I wanted to talk about just some basic stuff. Now we need to, I don't know how I'm going to find this. This is the issue I'm having today, in that I haven't been able to research this. If anyone is able to give me a link and have some raking around in the background, there must be rules for becoming a delegate. There must be some kind of rules for becoming a delegate in terms of like police checks and all this kind of stuff. Because so again, going back to my own experience, which is all I know, as a youth worker, as someone working with children in any capacity, you have to, even to be on the school board, which I am, I have to have an up-to-date police check, right? We've got to pay $30 or whatever it is to get what for me is a blank sheet of paper, because I haven't done any crimes, or I haven't been caught for doing any crimes. You decide. But like, you have to prove that you've got a clean record, that you are no risk to young people before you can be put in a position of authority around young people. And my question is a genuine question, because I don't know this yet. What safeguards are there in place in becoming a delegate before you're allowed to work with young people? So what am I looking for in this is like how to become a delegate, I suppose. I don't know. Like, are there any regulations? Maybe we need to be in the regulations and guidelines. Shall we have a look in here? Do you see what I'm trying to do? I'm just trying to find out if there are rules around signing people up to be a delegate. Internet sad. Internet sad. This is a really difficult one to talk about, everyone, and it's a little bit heavier than what we usually talk about, but I think it's super important to talk about. But where am I going to find? Kuranir, is the person we're talking about a delegate? I'm not 100% sure on that. I actually can't remember, but I feel like people who've been in this position before have been delegates. Thank you so much for subscribing, Deli Del. I appreciate it. What am I going to search for on here? So like delegate onboard. It would be delegate onboarding, right? Where am I looking for this, everyone? Like, where can I find this stuff? Because this is information that I think actually now, thinking about it, I'm like, as a parent sending my kid to a WCA comp, this is a valid thing to ask. Who are these people running a competition? I'm not suggesting that all delegates are a problem, but I am going, well, hold on a second. What are the things put in place for checking that our delegates, our people in authority, are above board. Because we are talking about adults in authority interacting with minors. That is essentially what we're talking about. So, do we just want to do a Google search? How to become a WCA delegate. Oh, here we go. What's this? So Google works better. Yeah, new delegates are listed as junior delegates at first. Yeah, okay, we know that. Afterwards, they are requested to show proficiency managing competitions before being promoted to WCA delegates. And this is what I'm slightly concerned about. Hello, Silas the Cuber. Thanks for subscribing. This is what I'm concerned about, because it's just like, okay, you've got to be good at WCA stuff. Sure, obviously. But what else? Where are the safeguards for our minors? You see what I'm saying? Where... And it could be that this exists, but the documentation is so hard to find stuff in. So they would have to act under the WCA Code of Conduct, wouldn't they? World Cube Association Code of Conduct. Shall we have a look at that? Ooh. No, I tell you what. Let's have a look at the Code of Conduct and the Code of Ethics. So, Code of Conduct is... Oh, it's short. Oh, no, it's not. Here we are. We're going to go through some documents here, everyone, okay? That's happening. Deal with it. Can I collapse this? Everything's in the way. Never mind. I'll have to read it to you. It's story time, all right? So this is the Code of Conduct. Code of Conduct must be considered by all members of the World Cube Association. So this is not just delegates. This is everyone. You and I, everyone. Just competitors and all that kind of stuff. As a standard for actions and behavior, members of the WCA community include, but are not limited to, registered speedcubers, competition organizers, guests, officials, users on the forum. These actions should uphold the spirit and mission of the WCA while not breaking any regs, motions, or policies. Registered speedcubers who are qualified as WCA staff must also uphold the Code of Ethics as a standard for actions and decisions they will be making. The code covers previously known issues as well as issues that the WCA foresees as requiring additional guidance. The document will be updated periodically to incorporate new topics as they are brought. Disciplinary procedures, are handled by the Integrity Committee, the WIC. The official communication channel for the WIC is email. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna read through this. I'm gonna search for 2 words. I'm gonna search for the word minor, 0, and I'm gonna search for the word esual. Aha, here we go. Okay. Possible violations include, but are not limited to... No, I don't want to read all these out because it's gnarly. Okay, that's about orientation. Yeah, obviously, don't bully based on that. So don't be a jerk or discriminate based on that. Harassment. Unwelcome esual comments, jokes, and esual advances. Okay, interesting. That's very interesting. It's right there, 2.2.5. I'm not going to comment on names being dropped in the chat without evidence. Just FYI. So okay, so no, yeah, none of that. That's that looks fairly clear cut. 2.2.5 in the Code of Conduct for all of us. Where else is this word? Discrimination on orientation, harassment, comments, and advances. All a bad idea. Let's have a look now at the Code of Conduct. So this is slightly different. The Code of Ethics is for all of us regular punters, okay? That's all of us. Don't do this stuff, or you're officially a jerk, all right? These are the rules. And I like that that's in there. That seems to be fairly well covered, actually, in the Code of Ethics. The code of conduct. So the code of conduct must be considered by all members. Hey Nick, welcome along. Official Timmy, Curious Nick. The code of conduct must be considered by all members of the WCA community as a standard for actions or behavior. Members of the WCA community include, but are not limited to... Oh, I beg your pardon, I'm still in code of conduct. This is the ethics. The code of ethics must be considered by all staff members of the WCA. Referred to in this document as staff. Listed delegates refers to WCA delegates who are publicly displayed. I'm going to do the same search. I'm going to do the same search for the same two words. Minor. 0. Young. 0. There is no. There are no specific. There are no specific items about young people or minors. All right, let's look for the. Oh, okay. Oh wow, that's telling though. Why is there explicit? So I've just searched. Sorry, you can't see it on screen. I've just searched for the word "esual" in the code of ethics, and there are 0 results. I guess maybe code of conduct, because that covers everyone. It wouldn't overrule code of ethics, because code of ethics is for staff. Finances, reimbursements, registration fees, listed delegates. Oh, another word I wanted to search for was police. 0. Check. 0. What other words could I be searching for here for like checks for delegates? Like background. Background 0. Okay, there's I think there's holes here potentially. Oh, this might be another video. Just chewing through the code of ethics. Okay, so what have we learned, everyone? So my major concern, my concern, everyone, let me share my concern or concerns with you. We are in a community where there are often adults in positions of power interacting with minors. I understand that minor means different things in different countries. But my point still stands. There are adults in positions of power interacting with minors, and bad stuff is happening. Bad stuff is happening. We've seen it in a few occasions. I don't see action from the WCA, unfortunately. I could be, unless I'm wrong about that. You know I love to be proved wrong, so but I don't think I have seen action taken. I don't think I've seen people banned for these things. And I reckon my position is you should be banned for these things. Get out. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. I don't think that's a niche view. But I think, as with many things in the WCA, they have a lot going on, but they don't seem to have, in the code of ethics which governs staff, they don't seem, from this cursory little glance I've had searching on some main keywords, I don't see... I don't see any means of taking action. I'm going to have to search in the regs as well, okay? I feel like that's... Because I'm not, again, not trying to bag on the WCA here, but this appears to be... first of all, this appears to be something that's repeatedly happening. And repeatedly not being dealt with in a way that's necessarily satisfactory, in my opinion. Let's go to the World Cube Association again real quick, and I just want to run some of these things in the regulations. Just gonna go ahead and look for the SUL word again. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, I didn't want to do that in the search bar. I wanted to do that in Apple F. No, the word SUL does not appear once in the regs. Let me clear this. Clear my search bar here. The WCA devs are going to be looking at the search traffic on their site today and just going to be like, what is happening? What is going on? Okay, let's look at minor. Although that in the regs that could have. Okay, there's no issue of minor there. Youth, young. Is this because I haven't got the sections expanded? Okay, I might have. Oh no, they are expanded. So there's none of these keywords again. These same keywords: youth, young, minor, SUL. None of these are showing up in the regs either. So it's not in the regs. It's not in the regs. It's not in the code of ethics for staff, but it is in the code of conduct for us as competitors and members. Mango saying, I heard somewhere that they won't take action because the conduct didn't happen at a competition. That is the same thing I've heard as well. I've read in a number of places. I cannot exactly state the validity of the sources, but I haven't seen any evidence. Again, come at me. I'm always willing to be proved wrong. I have not seen any evidence of anyone being banned for this stuff. And that's a worry. And I think we're coming to the end of my story on this today. Quite a heavy one, this one, everyone. Sorry about that, but it's important because we have a obligation. I've talked about, in the past, I've talked about my sort of feeling as an adult in the space that me and other adults in the space have a responsibility to conduct ourselves like role models, right? Role models. Don't grow up to be like me professionally, but you know, be nice to people. If you learn one thing from me, it's be nice to people. But I feel like I can't not talk about it when I'm seeing this coming up. I'm like, hold up now, hold up. This is an issue. And that's the end of what I'm going to say on it today. I think I'm going to have to do a video going on a deep dive through the code of ethics. I might have to ask some people. I might have to ask someone at the WCA, and I might have to have a look through some old incident logs or whatever to see if I can find instances of people being banned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more. I stream once a week and I release videos pretty much every day. Also use code CUBECAST to save 5% at speedcubeshop.com, Cubing Life Academy, speedcube.nz, lastlayercubing.com. Have fun, solve cubes, and I'll catch you in the next one.